Hey there, my name is Don Chin. Welcome to the very first episode of Spin with Chin. I am a longtime music fan. I've collected music all my life. Started with records, then I went to cassettes, then CDs, and then after CDs came out, I threw away all my records like a fool, like so many other people did. And then vinyl made a comeback. So I've been collecting vinyl for the last few years, and got a nice collection going, and I kind of resell on Facebook and eBay um, other albums that I'm not personally collecting. But I wanted to just kind of share with you one of my favorite artists, and it's kind of a rabbit hole. There's a connection with this artist and Michael Jackson. So if you are a Michael Jackson fan, you probably have heard this other person's music before. So everybody knows Michael kind of started as a young kid with the Jackson 5, and then he launched his solo career with this album, which is Off the Wall. I picked this up in Japan in April of 2026. This is a Japanese version on vinyl pressed in Japan. You can kind of recognize Japanese pressings because they have a strip like this in paper that's called an obi strip, OBI strip, and it kind of explains to the Japanese artist or audience what what's on the album, some of the features about it, et cetera, et cetera. And the album itself looks pretty much like the American version as far as like the whole gatefold cover with Michael standing there, and then the inside of the album has lyrics in American, but as in a lot of Japanese pressings, they want to let the Japanese fans kind of understand what he's singing about. So they have a lyric sheet, or this might not be a lyric sheet. It might just kind of show what the track list is with a little bio of Michael and the Jackson brothers. Um, and then on the backside, this is Japanese. It's got Quincy Jones, who was well known for producing Michael. Um, I think that's Teddy Pendergrass right there. I'm not sure what connection he has, but I know that Quincy probably produced quite a few artists for that Motown label back in the day. But, anyways, if you're familiar with Off the Wall, which I'm sure a lot of you are, probably a lot of you have this album. Um, when I was in high school, it was 1979, and that's when this album came out. And I remember going to a high school dance, and everybody loved that song, Rock With You. And there's a video of it. I mean, this was like when the first videos were starting to come out in the 70s. And there's Michael just dancing, I think, with a cool, maybe laser light around him or something. Just a real simple video. But the song is so catchy. The rest of the album has a lot of great songs on it, like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, Working Day and Night. Um, of course, Off the Wall, She's Out of My Life, et cetera, et cetera. So, anyways, I really love this album. And there's another group that came out around this time as well, maybe a little earlier. And it was a kind of a disco funk group called Heatwave. And you can go onto YouTube and look up Heatwave. And probably the biggest songs that they did, one was called Boogie Nights, and the other one was called Groove Line. And I think they did a ballad that was another big hit called Always and Forever, which is kind of a sweet love song. But Boogie Nights is one of those songs that is definitely an earworm. And once you hear it, you just want to tap your feet and dance. And it's super funky. The video is super 70s. The guys are dressed like in jumpsuits with flames. And there's a mixture of black singers, a white drummer, a white keyboardist, and I think one of the guitar players was white, and then the main singers were black. So it was kind of interesting group of both white and black people working together to do kind of funky disco. So, anyways, my wife has been on this kick lately of watching Heat Waves Boogie Nights pretty much every day. It's like her happy song, and it brings her joy. She likes to dance to it. So I thought I would surprise her, and so I went onto eBay and I went and got a couple of Heatwave albums, and I've had this sitting in my house for a few weeks. I've been so busy with my other stuff, I haven't had a chance to really open this, but I wanted to save it and open it with you guys so you can kind of see what the group looks like. I'm not going to play the music on this. I don't want to get copyright struck, but you can definitely look them up on, YouTube or Spotify. So I'm going to open this up and just kind of share it with you. Now, the connection between Heatwave and Michael Jackson is that the keyboardist for Heatwave, who's a white guy, his name is Rod Temperton. And Rod, he's super talented. He wrote most of the songs for Heatwave, and a lot of them were big hits. And he kind of let it be known to the other Heatwave guys. He really wasn't interested in touring all the time as a group, even though they did. He really just wanted to write songs. So Quincy Jones looked him up and said, I would really love you to write some songs for Michael Jackson because he's going to do a solo album. And so Rod went ahead and did it. And like I said, the one of his first hits was Off the Wall. And then the massive hit for Michael was Thriller on his second album. And that was something that Rod Temperton wrote. So if you look on on the album, it'll say who the songwriters are. And Rod Temperton is on a lot of those credits. So that kind of shows you his songwriting, his genius, because he wrote for Michael, and all his songs are super, super catchy. But there's a best of Heatwave album, and I did some research, and people were saying, don't get the best of Heatwave album. Get their first two albums. That's pretty much all you need to have get your Heatwave fix. So I went ahead and looked up a vendor online, and he found me two really nice condition copies. So this is the one of the album you can see. It's called Central Heating, and it's got the groove line on it. It's still in the shrink wrap. I have not listened to these yet. Obviously, I just opened them for you. So that's the one album, and then the other album, I think the very first one was called Too Hot to Handle, and it definitely looks 70s. It's got a melting album on it. Here's the back cover of it. So it was interesting that Rod was from England, and he kind of met these other singers that were American because I think their parents were in the military over in Germany. For some reason, they were able to connect through music, and they formed this group and eventually became known as Heatwave. So this one's Too Hot to Handle. Let's check out the inside of it. Okay, so it's just got a generic paper cover. This looks like in really good. It's by Epic. Epic is actually the same label that did Michael's albums. So maybe they were connected. Maybe Quincy kind of heard about Heatwave because he was going to work with Epic eventually. So this looks like really good shape. This album, I think, is from the late 70s, and the vendor said that it was in super good condition. I don't see any scratches or whatnot on it, so I'm gonna play it, at my leisure. But Too Hot to Handle on here. Boogie Nights, which is number 2. Ain't No Half Steppin'. Always and Forever. So that's two big hits right there on this side. And then the other ones, I don't recognize them, but one's called Beat Your Booty. I'm pretty sure Rod wrote all of these. So this is 1976, this album. So I'm looking forward to listening to that. I don't think it had any original sleeve with, more band info unless, yeah, there's nothing else in here right now. So it might not have had a nice, liner notes in there, but I'm looking forward to that. I'll put it in a nice little plastic cover. And then this one, Central Heating, has Groove Line on it, which was a huge hit. Can definitely check them out. Yeah, so this one is more what I was looking for. It has, here's the band. So you can kind of see their hip cats. Rod is that guy right there. That's Rod Temperton. He wrote a lot of songs. He wrote like Give Me the Night for George Benson. I think he wrote, you know, stuff for like bigger artists. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but you know, you could look it up. If you really like Michael and you like Heatwave, you'll definitely, you know, like to see what Rod did in his career. Sadly, he passed away, I think, in his 60s from cancer, but he left a legacy of music that people my age still enjoy, and hopefully new people can enjoy. So this was also epic from 1978. So this came out, you know, a couple years after um, the album I just showed you, and I didn't do too much after that. I think they only had like a couple albums. Here on the other side of the liner notes are the lyrics to the songs, and they're super funky, super fun, and something you can definitely dance to. Here's the back cover, kind of showing you the band again. But look up Boogie Nights Heatwave on YouTube and watch the video. I think you'll agree with me that it is really fun. It's something that you'll probably want to listen to again and crank up the stereo or crank up your TV and dance to. They have some definitely cool uh, 70s groove disco moves in that. But anyways, this has been Spin with Chin, episode 1 with Heatwave, Michael Jackson. I hope you enjoyed it. Um, I may do another video kind of giving you my thoughts on, you know, the albums after I've listened to them. But for now, I just kind of want to show you what vinyl looks like, particular albums that I'm collecting. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you come back again for another episode. All right, take care.